Alright, so today I'm going to be doing 3 looks with one palette using the Tarteist Pro palette from Tarte. It's a gorgeous palette. It has 16 matte shades, 4 shimmers. You can do everything with this palette. I used it on my wedding day. I travel with it. It's phenomenal. So if you want to see how to get this look and 2 others, keep on watching. So I'm going to start off by taking Chic and bringing that into crease, up towards my brow bone, and all over the lid, just as a nice neutral base color. Next, dipping into Innocent and doing this in the same place, just not bringing it up quite as high towards the brow bone and not as far into the inner corner. Now on a slightly smaller pencil brush, going into the color Whimsy and doing the exact same motion. Every single deeper color, I'm just going to bring it less high up into the crease and less further in towards the inner corner. Keep going back and forth with this color until you have it as deep as you want it and you're happy with the placement. This is a method of doing eyeshadow that will work for any 4 colors where you've got a very light color, 2 mid-tone colors, and then a deep color. You basically work in smaller and smaller V shapes. Finally, going in to the final color in that row, Smoked. I'm going to be using this on that same pencil brush, but doing it in a much finer area. So really focusing on just the very outer corner. I want the darkest color to be right on this outer corner. So I'm going to place that color down there first. And then using tapping and swiping motions, blend it out into the crease and towards the lash line. When working with very deep browns or blacks, you want to make sure that you are really blending the color before you go in and pick up more. Some of the Whimsy may have blended away. You can pick a slight amount of that back up on your brush and go in and re-intensify in the areas where you need it. The goal here is to have a nice gradient from that peachy color into the orange, into the brown. You don't want a sharp line of demarcation between any of the colors. Go back in with either Chic or Classic. Really go in right underneath that brow bone and then blend down just to make sure we have a nice gradient from the shadow into our skin. Taking the pencil brush that we've been using, take a tiny bit amount of Smoked. I'm going to bring that right underneath your lower lashes and start smoking it out towards your inner corner. You want the darkest pigmentation to be right at this outer corner, connecting the upper lid with the bottom lid. I like to stop right about where my pupil would be. And then switching to Whimsy and going over that area and blending it out. And then switching to that slightly larger first brush that we used and mixing Innocent and Chic, going in and blending into my inner corners. Since the rest of this look is matte, I'll take Vintage and just go right in to my inner corner just to open that up a little bit, and do the same thing right at the arch of my brow. Quick curl lashes. Add some mascara to your top lashes. And you're all set. This is the finished first look. Okay, for the second look, I'm gonna go in using the more purples and berries and do kind of like a cranberry purple smoky eye. Start off by putting Innocent all over the eyes. Then go in with Profesh, same brush, to start giving a little bit of depth. Now I want this to be a kind of smoky, more sexy look, so I'm gonna bring these colors out pretty far in a very round, blown out shape. I'm going to take Mod and do the exact same thing. If you want to keep this a little bit more subtle or daytime appropriate, you can switch to a smaller brush to go into the deeper colors. I want this to be more dramatic, so I'm gonna still use this same larger brush. I'm gonna go into Drama and really start packing this on the outer corner, just taking my time building it up. My eye is watering, so it's doing funny things to that color there. Dipping back into Mod if you feel you've lost some of that. Now switching to that small pencil brush, I'm going to go into Vamp, which is right above Drama, and really start building the intensity on that outer corner. Going back into that fluffy brush to blend the transition between those three colors. I'm gonna go in with Minx. If you go in with just the dry shadow, it's a gorgeous, almost taupey cranberry shade. If you want a little extra glitz, take a setting spray, take your dry brush, dip it in your powder, spray your brush with your setting spray. And you can see the difference that makes with the shadow. Using any liquid in conjunction with a shimmery, glittery shadow, it's gonna really intensify the pigment in that shadow, and it's gonna make it more of that wet, metallic looking finish. When you're happy with the amount of shadow there, go back into your fluffy brush and pick up Drama and re-intensify that outer corner, and just make sure we have a smooth transition from shimmer to our matte shadows. Making sure you've got a good transition between your skin and the beginning of your shadow. We're gonna do the lower lash line very similar to the first look, taking our darkest color, Vamp, and using a pencil brush, smoking that out all along the lower lash line until pretty much my eyelashes end. Skip Drama and go straight into Mod. So we've got less space on this lower lash line. I like to use fewer colors than I used on my upper lid. Same thing, skipping Profesh and going back into Innocent to just finish out that inner corner and blend the rest of the shades out into the skin. To add a little bit of extra drama, because why not, I'm going to take this Stila Smudge Stick Waterproof Eyeliner in the shade Deep Burgundy and use this in my upper and lower waterlines. For an inner corner highlight, I'm going in with a little mixture of Glam and Ethereal, and even bringing that a little bit underneath onto the lower lash line. Mixing a little bit of Classic with Glam for a brow bone highlight. Quick curl lashes. Pop some mascara on your upper and lower lashes. And that is the finished second look. We're gonna go in with, you guessed it, Innocence, and just blend that everywhere. I'm going in with Bold to just deepen that up a little bit. And now going in with Whimsies, still on that large brush because we want this pretty blown out and messy. I'm gonna use the Fix Plus spray method to really intensify the color on Trendy and pop it all over our lid. I'll show you actually just for comparison how this applies using my finger. So you get a pretty similar finish using your finger as you do with using the wet brush. It's just a little bit messier. You can't be as precise with the placement of your color. Now you can take our handy dandy pencil brush, dry, dip it into that trendy shade, and use that to help blend it in a little bit. We don't want it too blended, but we just want to get rid of some of these choppy edges. On that same pencil brush, going into edgy, and just very lightly going over the transition. Now you can take just a small bit of Punk, which is the black shade in the palette, and deepen the intensity on that outer corner. Bring it up just slightly into the crease. Taking the tiniest bit of Punk and putting that just on these very outer corner, making sure to connect it with the outer corner of the upper lash line. And going back into edgy and smoking that out, more like 3/4 of the way, and then going in with gold. You can even take a little bit of Trendy dry on this brush, slightly dust it to bring some of that teal shade into the lower lashes. For liner, I'm going to be taking Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On in Marine, which is a gorgeous, deep, deep teal shade. Curl your lashes, pop on some mascara, top and bottom lashes, and pop on some falsies if you're into that kind of thing. And this is the finished eye look. And here's the finished look with the rest of my face on. All the products will be listed in the description below. If you liked any of these looks, all of these looks, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave me a note in the comments letting me know what palettes you'd like to see me use next. Bye!